I'm back with another album review. For our next part of my album review series, I'll be reviewing the albums by Ministry, which is an industrial metal band from Chicago that started up in '81. Most people know about them for not just being industrial metal, but paving the way for other American industrial bands, such as Nine Inch Nails, Filter, Fear Factory, Static X, and Three Teeth. Hell, even Slipknot, Linkin Park, and Code Orange took influence from them. However, the band wasn't always industrial metal because they were new wave and synth pop when they started out. Anyways, today's review is on With Sympathy. This is the band's debut album, and was when the lineup consisted of Al Jorgensen on lead vocals and guitar, Stephen George on drums, Martin Sorensen on bass, and Robert Roberts and John Davis on keyboards. Al is the only consistent member of the band, while other members have come and gone. The album was produced by Vince Eli and Ian Taylor. Engineering was done by Flood and David Woolley. Fun fact, Flood has also worked with Nine Inch Nails, Depeche Mode, PJ Harvey, and various other artists. The album was mastered by Greg Calvi. It was released on May 10th, '83 on Arista Records. Now let's talk about the songs. The intro to this album is Work for Love. When this album was initially remastered, the title was changed to Work for Love. To avoid confusion, I'm still going to refer to this album as With Sympathy. After that is Do the Awada. The choir chant on this track was provided by Ziv Gidron. If you were to listen to this album, you would notice that Al sings with a fake English accent as a way of paying homage to various synthpop artists. The next track is I Wanted to Tell Her, which was released as a single in April of '83. Interestingly enough, this track ended up being one of the most popular songs from the album. Next up is Say You're Sorry. Al and George are the only official members of the band who performed on this track. But they also had Bob Suber on saxophone and Doreen Chanter on lead vocals. Up next is Here We Go. Al was on vocals and keyboards of this track while Brad Hallen was on bass. We followed up with Effigy, I'm Not Anne. I heard that this song was featured on an episode of Euphoria, but I never saw that show. Also, this version of the song on the album is just titled Effigy. That's followed by Revenge, which was released as a single in September '83. This track received a music video, and there's a link in the description. The second to last track is She's Got a Cause. And the only official member of the band who didn't perform on this track was Martin. The outro for this album is Should Have Known Better. Al was the sole performer on this track, having performed vocals, drums, and keyboards. In 2012, the Eastworld re-release came out and included 3 bonus tracks. The first of which is an extended mix of I Wanted to Tell Her. The second is a remix of Revenge. The third is A Walk in the Park, which isn't on any other albums from this band as far as I know. The Eastworld re-release is hard to come by and it's very expensive. My copy is just the '92 reissue. When researching this album, I read that it was number 94 on the Billboard 200. As the critics, most of the reviews were mixed. Spin Alternative Record Guide and Encyclopedia of Popular Music gave it negative reviews, while Music, Hound Rock, and All Music thought it was mediocre. Rolling Stone thought it was okay, and I Mockery really liked it. Now for my thoughts. I think this album is just okay. Most Ministry fans, including myself, are accustomed to hearing their industrial music. So of course this album sounds drastically different from what these guys are known for. Al Jorgensen had disowned this album and bailed out of Arista Records in '84. In 2016, he had owned up to it and said that he wouldn't be what he is today if it wasn't for this album, according to what I read on Metal Hammer. 4 of the songs in this album were re-recorded for The Squirrely Years Revisited, and I'll get around to reviewing that album eventually. Overall, I sort of recommend this album, even though it's one of the weaker albums in the band's discography. Now let's partway question you. Have you listened to it with Sympathy? If so, what do you think about it? What's your favorite song from it? If you have this album, which version do you have? Now let me know in the comments. If you like the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify you of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another review.